Sir Keir Starmer has been humiliated on the global stage, hasn't he? After declaring the UK is becoming an island of strangers, he jetted off to Albania to make a big immigration announcement. And what was the pitch? A deal for migrant return hubs, supposedly modelled after Italy's agreement with Albania. But just moments after he made the announcement, the Albanian Prime Minister shot it down, saying Italy's deal was a one-off.
This was a one-off with Italy, and to be very frank with you, we have been asked by several countries if we were open to it, and we said no.
Yeah, Edie, Rama is a man who clearly has his favourites, not that Starmer is clearly one of them, as he was pictured literally kneeling in front of Italy's leader, Giorgia Meloni, the very next day. So what was the point of that trip? Starmer flew out to Albania to announce a policy that was, in my opinion, clearly never even discussed with the Albanians. An embarrassing, costly blunder to the taxpayer, one that makes the UK look disorganised and desperate. But then cue the spin machine. Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson was rolled out to gaslight the public by claiming it was never the PM's intention to discuss return hubs, despite, get this, documents showing the Home Office were floating the idea all the way back in March. This isn't just a communications failure, it's a government in disarray, isn't it? They can't keep their own story straight. And while our Prime Minister tries to look tough on immigration, he's stumbling around Europe, making empty promises that aren't worth the plane ticket. Keir Starmer wants us to believe he's got a grip on the immigration crisis, but when you can't even manage a simple policy announcement, how can you claim to have a grip on anything? Right, let's bring in our fantastic panel. Kai, I have to start with you. This is a complete and utter embarrassment to Britain, isn't it?
It really isn't. And the person who needs to get this story straight is you, because this was actually a summit of the European political community. So all the many countries in the EU and outside of the EU were already part of this summit, right? But this is politics. Of course, Albania, having signed an exclusive deal with Italy, was going to focus on that. They are acceding to the EU. They're really focused on trying to get EU members on board. Meloni is a friend of Trump's, a friend of Orban's. Those will be great allies for them as they try to join the EU. And they're strong partners already with Italy in the Adriatic Sea. So, of course, given the two choices and given the fact that doing a deal with the UK at this point could jeopardise the one with Italy, that was a political choice.
Guys, you're utterly delusional.
Yeah.
No. What world does a Prime Minister go and make a speech about a policy that gets shot down 2 minutes later by the Prime Minister?
It was a press conference.
Kai, I don't want to burst your lovely little world bubble, but I'm going to, because what a load of nonsense you've just spoken for about a minute. I mean,
call it Bridget Phillipson.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, the problem with this is it's a ridiculous idea to start with anyway. We've already had 750 million quid on Rwanda, which this government decided not to even try and to scrap. So they wasted that money, not the Tories, because we didn't even try it. We didn't try and work. This scheme, had he have got agreement from Albania, would have cost many more millions. So now we're scrapping around Europe thinking, oh no, he said no. Who shall we ask? It was an embarrassment for the Prime Minister of this country. No. The day after, he'd given his little speech about keeping immigrants away. I mean, what a nonsense.
But they're still having conversations with lots of the Western Balkans countries. That is a fact.
Go on, Emma.
I mean, either way, it's just wildly incompetent to announce something only then to have the leader of the country that you're making the announcement in relation to say, well, no, actually, no, we haven't agreed this. I mean, how does that...
We're not only that we haven't agreed it, we are not going to do it.
And how does that even happen? Like, what you mean? You said, maybe David Lammy left his memo in the taxi with all of this, other rubbish. I almost said a word I shouldn't say on air.
We all know what you wanted to say. That's the most important
the
thing.
incompetence of it is just so glaring that whether you think it would work or not, whether it was, a summit involving, all of that is by the by. The point is that it should not be possible for the Prime Minister to make an announcement only for him to be immediately shot down. And then, as you say, for him to then go and meet the President of Albania to then go and meet with Giorgia Meloni, and for it to be also sort of friendly and fuzzy. It makes Britain look like
Well, it
we are
does.
a state.
Desperate,
Yeah.
a desperate
desperate.
state. Trey, I mean, listen, you're somebody who I like on this panel because you're not overly political like we are. You're what I would say is a general public bloke. When you look at stuff like that, what does it say to you about Britain?
I feel a bit sorry for Starmer a little bit. I don't mean to laugh at him, but you can see what he's trying to do. The speech was borderline provocative. He's trying to get the ground away from reform. He's trying to talk tough, but...
Is it working? Do you believe him?
No, he's just doing it for the sake of it, but there's no conviction. I mean, quite frankly, nobody should be coming over from a safe country like Albania in the first... I mean, that should just be the easiest thing to establish, done deal. And it's almost embarrassing. Like, I don't know how you can even defend it. It is a bit embarrassing. Like, it should have been over the line, announced, done.
Yeah, I mean, Kai,
it just looks a bit sad.
I totally agree. Kai, come on, listen. This is what we would say a C-up. I won't say the word I want to say. by the
history.
Yeah. I won't be on air again.
A rocker.
Listen, I think at all points in time we're able to look back at political leaders and go, we'll look back on him in the future when he's no longer your leader, and you go, that wasn't so great. Like all these people are saying now about Joe Biden, who had clearly cognitive decline at the time, said he's fit and healthy.
Yeah.
We all know when we look back on it in
This is
retrospect.
the sort of thing that people will remember.
Yeah.
Well, is it? I think my main issue with this is about communications, and it's not about material policy issues.
Yeah, their
And I think what's good to
communication
actually...
stinks.
That's exactly the sort of thing people remember, not the policies.
People remember it,
Communication stinks
Yeah.
in this government. But at the end of the day, in the next general election, people will care about results and not what Keir Starmer said
Well, they
in
cared
one
about
press
the
conference
Rwanda
4 years
policy.
before.
But this is the thing, they remember the
It's not
Rwanda
just
policy
one,
that didn't
is it?
get off the ground. They'll remember him going to say, we've got these return hub deals, can't wait to do what Maloney's doing with Italy. And they'll go, well, actually, no, you didn't even get it past the starting point.
but
how did he end up in Albania, right? How did he end up sitting on his key speech? Because the press was briefed, he's going to make a big speech in Albania about the illegal migrant crisis and how we're going to get these return hub deals. That to only then, literally, the same Prime Minister who's talking to you go, yeah, not happening, mate.
Yeah, it's not about communication, isn't it? And I think it's the same thing. And I go to that mum's like the man of the public. I just think everyone's fed up. Everyone's been told this stuff like we're stupid
No one
or
believes
something.
him. When
no
he
one believes it.
speaks now,
No
no
one
one
thinks
believes
it's possible.
him.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible for him to claw that back. I really don't.
It is.
It might
It
be
looks
4
really
years,
bad.
but I think he's finished.
Yeah, listen, I'll happily call out any politician that makes a big mistake like that, but this was pretty horrendous.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
it's not just about him, though. It's like his whole team. Right?
well, I
Like,
think that's the problem. But unfortunately, we're going to move on. Still to come tonight with farmers seemingly shafted by the government once again. Should all inheritance tax be scrapped?
Yes.
But next, the NHS will water down previous guidance to allow, get this, trans toddlers to access medical help. And Dr. Renee is outraged. You're with us Saturday 5 live on GB News.